Overview of corporate payout policy. Corporate payout policy refers to management's decisions regarding how earnings are distributed to shareholders through dividends and stock repurchases. These decisions influence shareholder returns, capital structure, liquidity, and market perception. A company may retain earnings to finance future growth opportunities or distribute excess cash when profitable investment opportunities are limited. Dividend policy has long been a subject of debate in finance because different theories provide competing views regarding whether payout decisions affect firm value. Understanding these theories is important because payout choices often communicate management's expectations regarding future earnings, financial stability, and investment opportunities. Analysts therefore evaluate payout policy as part of a broader assessment of corporate financial strategy and shareholder value creation. Dividend irrelevance theory. The dividend irrelevance theory, developed by Miller and Modigliani, argues that under ideal capital market conditions a firm's dividend policy does not affect its value. According to this theory, investors are indifferent between receiving dividends and realizing capital gains because total wealth remains unchanged. Firm value depends primarily on investment decisions and future cash-generating ability rather than the method used to distribute earnings. The theory assumes perfect capital markets, no taxes, no transaction costs, and equal access to information. Although these assumptions rarely hold in practice, the dividend irrelevance theory provides an important benchmark by emphasizing that investment policy, rather than payout policy alone, is the primary driver of long-term shareholder value. Bird in the hand, tax preference, and signaling theories. Several alternative theories suggest that dividend policy can influence firm value. The bird-in-the-hand theory argues that investors prefer certain dividend income over uncertain future capital gains, causing firms with higher dividend payouts to be valued more highly. In contrast, tax preference theory suggests that investors may prefer capital gains because they are often taxed at lower rates or deferred until realized. Signaling theory proposes that dividend changes communicate management's expectations regarding future earnings and cash flows. Dividend increases are frequently interpreted as positive signals about future profitability, while dividend reductions often create negative market reactions because investors perceive them as indicators of financial weakness or declining earnings prospects. Residual dividend model and practical considerations. The residual dividend model provides a practical framework for determining dividend payments. Under this approach, a company first identifies all positive net present value investment opportunities and funds them using internally generated equity. Any remaining earnings are distributed as dividends. As a result, dividend payments fluctuate according to investment opportunities and financing needs. Companies with significant growth prospects may retain most earnings, while mature firms with limited investment opportunities often distribute a larger proportion of profits. Although theoretically appealing, many firms avoid highly variable dividends because investors generally prefer stable and predictable payout policies. Consequently, management often balances investment requirements with shareholder expectations when establishing dividend policy. Stock buybacks and their economic effects. Stock buybacks, or share repurchases, occur when a company uses cash to purchase its own outstanding shares. Repurchased shares are typically retired or held as treasury stock, reducing the number of shares outstanding. As a result, earnings per share, book value per share, and ownership percentages may increase even if total earnings remain unchanged. Buybacks provide management with greater flexibility than dividends because repurchases can be adjusted without generating the negative market reaction often associated with dividend reductions. Companies frequently use buybacks when they believe their shares are undervalued, when they wish to return excess cash to shareholders, or when they seek to offset dilution resulting from employee stock compensation programs. Advantages, risks, and analytical implications of buybacks. Stock buybacks offer several advantages, including tax efficiency, flexibility, and potential enhancement of per-share performance metrics. Unlike dividends, repurchases allow investors to decide when to realize taxable gains. However, buybacks can also create risks if management repurchases shares at excessive valuations or finances repurchases through excessive borrowing. In such cases, shareholder value may be destroyed despite improvements in earnings per share. Analysts should evaluate the motivation, timing, funding source, and long-term impact of repurchase programs. Both dividend policy and stock buybacks represent important capital allocation decisions that influence shareholder returns, financial flexibility, and corporate valuation, making them essential topics for CFA candidates studying corporate issuers.